What's up?
Sounding good, Holmes.
Salam and good evening.
Is Nicholas Shinn joining us?
He is. I heard him hacking up there doing something. I don't know what he's doing. But I came down and sat in front of the computer and said, "Are you ready for the podcast?" And then he disappeared. So I imagine he's power smoking.
It's like normal smoking, but powerful.
At least
Right.
that's what he tells himself.
Yeah.
Do you get cancer twice as fast when you power smoke?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah. Elsie has chosen to join us from upstairs.
Right on.
And would you like to know why?
Why?
Because she hates freedom.
That doesn't track. She's more free upstairs.
That's what you think. In fact, she's less free. You know what? Right now, we had Al-Qaeda on the run, but now, who knows?
Damn women and their thoughts of freedom.
Who needs it?
That's how the terrorists win.
Exactly. Thinking about freedom for women. Actually, wait a minute. I think I have that all wrong based on my history of the Taliban. In any
Well,
event.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. No one's perfect.
Don't come at me with a bunch of facts.
Exactly. No one needs that. Overrated. Overrated. Clap, 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 clap. Talking about facts. All right, so might as well get right to a few things. First of all, I don't have a harmonica down here. That's a huge problem. But I think I have one.
How do you not have one? Like, isn't it on your person at all times?
I wish.
Don't you just like open your chest cavity and pull it out?
Wow, that's like Iron Man, only with a harmonica?
Yeah.
No, it's different. It's different than that.
It's not how I remember my childhood. I remember some Iron Man shenanigans.
That's why you're in therapy, hon.
Oh.
How convenient then that you have someone with freedom of movement to get your harmonica for you. What? How exciting.
Point in her favor.
Yeah, except I did have a spare.
Well then, fuck you too.
Wow. Okay, wow. This is my beloved spouse telling me to fuck off. Sad. That's what I call that hashtag sad.
Nick ran down here, sat down on the chair, and immediately got up and said, "I have to blow my nose," and ran back away.
These are the fruits
Oh,
of
so he's
smoking.
doing coke
Well,
with his toe coke nails.
oh, yeah.
We'd forgotten all about that, and now we've remembered and can't unremember. Sad.
Yeah. I wish I could, though.
I sure do. We all do. I wonder how this harmonica is going to work. I haven't played this harmonica in years.
Well, it can't be any worse than the gunked up one.
No, that's true. But it might also be gunked up. That's the problem.
Let's find out.
Well, you don't know. All right, here we go. We're going to find out right now. Not later than now. Not at some other unspecified time. But right now. Welcome to A Shinn Show. I'm your host, Pete Shinn. Joining me, wow, what the hell was that? That was like a thwack. Did you hear that thwack? No, maybe I just made that up in my own head. I heard a thwack.
I heard it. It sounded like maybe a cat leaping from the sound booth to somewhere else. I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll get over it. Anyway, I'm Pete Shinn, your host of A Shinn Show. Joining me as always, Sarah Shinn from the friendly confines of Omaha. Oh, shit, I'm not supposed to say locations. I don't know why I'm not supposed to say that, but I know that I'm not. So let me just apologize on behalf of
It's not
myself.
that you're not supposed to say it. It's just like, why is there a need to say it?
Well, because people want to know where you are. You're a disembodied voice. That's all you are until you have a location.
That's comforting for some people.
They want to know where you are. That's why you don't tell them.
No. Some people prefer having the anonymity of my dulcet tones coming at them over the airwaves.
Right, they don't know where from. Could be from
Part
anywhere.
of the mystery. That's why they keep listening to find out. Where are they from?
Well,
No.
no.
They literally find out right away every time.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's dashed it against the rocks.
Well, sorry, I ruined it for
Like
anybody.
a deformed child in Sparta.
By the way, yes, exactly like that. Anyway, that's Nick, son Nick, definitely not in Omaha. And then wife Elsie refuses to join me in the sound booth, so she's at an undisclosed location someplace in Maryland. And I am, in fact, also in the greater Washington, D.C. area. So there you go. That's where we are. I think it's useful to know where we are, because it says something about where we're coming from.
I guess. dude.
Maybe,
That just
but you're
sounds
not
like-
really from Maryland.
Whoa. Well, I feel like I'm from Maryland, because I live here.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not from Omaha either.
Yeah, it's true. You're not from Omaha, but you've lived there for many a moon now.
You know where I am from?
You're from...
An undisclosed location.
Right, now it's a mystery.
Now it's a mystery. Now I've got them on the hook. You know what I mean? Now they want to figure out. They want to take the next bite.
Right. What next?
Yeah.
Good point. Hey, first of all, a few things to go over just in terms of news this week, personal news. First of all, now hold your applause. We finished The Sopranos.
Oh, shit.
Your medal is
I
in
thought
the
we were
mail.
waiting for pop culture for that. I didn't think that was news, but yeah, you're totally right.
It's newsworthy.
It's personal news. It is.
How did you like it? Now that you've seen it all back to back to back.
All 86 episodes. Or was it 85? Doesn't matter. It was a lot. I think it was 85. 86.
How'd you like it?
I thought it was better the second time around. And I thought...
Well, I am not going to take the time to watch it twice, so I'll tell you that fucking much.
Well, the initial time I missed several episodes. It's not like you could just catch up on an episode that you missed. So, I mean, in fairness, I never saw all of the original episodes. I saw a good portion of them, probably 60 or 70% of them. But, I missed a few things along the way. And then didn't remember many more. I'm like, oh, I don't remember that happening. And so on. So, point is, great acting, great directing, great cast, terrific series. It's the greatest series of all time until Breaking Bad came along.
What did James Gandolfini do after that?
He did a couple of films.
Died.
What?
Except besides die.
Before he died, yet after The Sopranos, he did a film called In the Loop, in which he played a general, a pretty good general, actually, one who was very cynical and smart. And then he also played a romantic lead versus Julia Louis-Dreyfus in As Good as It Gets. No, not As Good as It Gets. Whatever It Takes. Something like that. I think it was one of those. I think it's Whatever It Takes is the name of the film.
I refuse to find him believable as a general because we all know he would not pass a PT test, okay? Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But I will say I very
that.
much enjoyed the show and found it worth the 6 months of our time. And while I heard a lot of people bitch and moan about the ending and was ready for the ending to suck, I thought it made sense. It ends somewhat abruptly, but not in a bad way. Like, you realize what they were trying to say. You're like, I get it. It's fine. And there's really no other way you could end it, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, without spoiling anything, was it a kind of hole they painted themselves into a corner and then had to, just end it?
No, it was
Nope, not at all.
They really resolved almost everything, but just because everything was resolved doesn't mean everything didn't continue.
Right.
That was kind of the whole point of the abrupt ending, is that there's no good place to end it. We're just ending it right in the middle because guess what? It's going on. Without really giving it away.
Indeed.
All right.
So that was news, but even more important news than that. You're wondering, what could that possibly be? I'm glad you asked.
We're waiting with bated breath.
Rather than just asking. Okay. The other important news is that I disclosed a song from Nicholas Shinn's past life to the family while we were taking a walk this weekend, and they had never heard it and thought it was the funniest thing they'd ever heard.
What are you talking about?
I don't know if it's the funniest thing I've ever heard, but you singing it while walking down the trail and other people looking at you like you had lost your fucking mind, that was pretty amazing. And picturing Nick singing this song.
What are you talking about? What is this? What is
Was it
this?
another Jody?
What
No.
are these lies and slanders?
This is not a lie and slander. You came back from a Woodman of the World camp when you were about 7 or 8 years old.
Jesus Christ. Are you talking about that Beaver song?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, all right.
I would like you to sing it with me at this time.
No, I'm not going to do that. First off, because our voices aren't going to be synced up. There's going to be a slight delay. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard for us. We're going to spend the whole show trying to, calculate that.
I think it's just cowardice on your part. Tell you what,
Yeah.
I'll
So you
start.
guys can practice this week and sing it next week.
Yeah, actually,
That's never going to happen.
so listen. I don't understand. You sang it with great delight when you were 7, 8 years old.
There you go.
And now you're 20, whatever you are. That's a mystery. Not going to disclose the mystery. You're 20-something now, and now you're too good for it. Well, I'm in my 50s, and I'm not too good for it. I'll tell you that right now. I am going to
That's
bust
because
it
you've
out.
circled back around. You know what I mean?
Are you saying that my cognitive faculties are now such that I'm a child again? Is that basically it?
Well, you said that, but,
We're all thinking it.
Well, you know what I say to that? Beaver one, beaver all, let's all do the beaver crawl.
Yeah, okay.
Beaver
It's
two,
catchy,
beaver
all right?
three, let's all do the beaver tree.
Jesus,
Beaver
I
4,
forgot.
Beaver 5.
You're
Let's
not
all
still
do
going,
Beaver
are you?
Yeah, I'm still going. Of course I'm
Let's
still going.
stop. Let's stop that. And
I didn't
No,
even...
no, no. There's
that's
a
another
piece.
thing
You
we
have
can
to wait
add to
for
the mystery pile.
I didn't even get to Beaver Heaven yet.
Yeah, well, you know.
Let
Did they
alone-
all die?
Just do it in your
No,
mind.
no. See, if he sings it, you'll know, Sarah.
Beaver 6, Beaver 7, let's all go to Beaver Heaven.
Yeah, so they all die.
And then, like, right when they're singing that verse, that's when someone else in a white robe is passing out a tray with little cups of Kool-Aid on it. And I didn't drink it. I just went home.
Yeah, well, and then, to wrap it all up, Beaver 8, Beaver 9, stop. It's Beaver time. Go Beaver. Go, go, go Beaver. Go, go, go Beaver. Go Beaver. It's your birthday. Go Beaver.
All right. Okay.
Did you break dance on the trail?
No,
He
but
did.
okay,
It was
alright.
amazing.
Where did this? How do you have access to this? Like this memory from so long ago?
well,
I thought I locked that shit down.
Yeah.
no, once said, it can never be unsaid. It's the curse of the beaver. And
Okay.
then-
Did you have a video? Well, clearly you must have had, or some sort of audio recording.
no,
On
I just.
what device?
Yeah, are you kidding me? I just remember that. How could I not remember that? It was the
Oh,
funniest.
okay. So you just did it. You just did it for them and said, "Oh, this is a song I heard from Nick once."
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I totally misunderstood.
What did you think
Thought
was going on here?
I thought you said I had some sort of thing from a past life from Nick, and then she said hearing you sing it. I thought she was talking to me. I thought Elsie was talking to me when she said that, so that you had some kind of like audio recording of it as you were going on your walk, and you're all having a good laugh.
Oh, no. No, it was me doing it from
Okay, so
memory.
it's just you embarrassing yourself.
Yes.
That's fine.
Well, and embarrassing me and Brad in the process.
What I don't get is why you're not willing to embarrass yourself right now.
That's collateral. If I had known that right from the start, then I wouldn't. I would just have refused. I would have denied that I ever knew that song in the first place. I would have just been like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But you can't deny it now.
Yeah, that cat's kind of out of the bag.
It
now,
is.
so
The beaver's out of the tree, as it were.
Beavers don't climb trees. That's okay.
No,
man.
they chew them.
All right.
Anyway, the point is, let's all climb the beaver tree. That's the point.
Let's all go to Beaver Heaven. Beaver Heaven. Beaver Heaven. Just pass out.
Line up.
You're like, I don't know about this.
Against that
And that's
fence
when they
line.
get you in the fucking neck with the needle full of Kool-Aid.
Right.
You won't drink it.
Some Jim Jones shit going on here. I didn't.
I start running.
Yeah, I gotta say, you took it to an exceptionally dark place, where I was not going. I just thought it was an entertaining thing that you came back from camp with when you were. How old were you when you came back from camp with that?
Who the fuck knows,
We went
man?
to Woodman almost every year, so who knows?
It was 7, 8, or 9. One of those years. So that made
3,
2003, 4, or 5, and I'm thinking 3. Doesn't matter. All right. I thought you would be more entertained and not mortified. Bet on me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
We'll just move on from
Any
that.
personal news from you all this week?
Yeah, some pretty fucked up shit happened this week.
Oh.
Today was a trying day.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
Well, first off, the little kitten ran away, and I'm fucking salty about it, dude.
What little kitten?
There was a little kitten that we had rescued. Did we not tell this story?
Well,
Probably not.
You told the story. I remember the kitten.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he ran away,
oh,
and he's gone, and I'm salty. I hope someone just, he was just running around in the fucking neighborhood, and then somebody just, was like, oh, what a cute kitten, and snatched him up and is now taking good care of him, at least. You know what I mean? At least. I hope he didn't just get chomped up or run over and is now dead. If someone took him, I just hope he's, drinking a lot of milk.
See,
and shit.
Dumpster Kitty also disappeared around this time, around the same age, and was gone for a couple days, and then just came back, just waltzed on back. So I don't know. I'm not worried about it yet.
Well, I'm worried. I couldn't help but think about it all day.
now, when did you notice that this kitty was missing? And what?
Like 45 minutes after his disappearance.
I see.
I was trying to reconstruct the timeline, and we left at 12:30, and when we got back at 2:30, you said the cat was missing. So that's a 2-hour time frame. But Sandy said that she had seen the cat in between 12 and 2:30,
Where did she see the cat last?
out in the backyard playing with the dog, playing with Ermac.
Ay.
So less than 2
just
hours.
swallowed him whole.
Yeah. Now, Ermac is a Great Dane, for those who don't
What if
know
he
that.
accidentally played with him a little too hard and then broke his back and knew he'd be in fucking trouble and then hit
And then
him?
what?
Ate
Hit
it,
him somewhere.
He's not that smart.
or just
He was
swallowed it
playing
right
with
down.
the dead chicken. Like playing with the dead chicken.
And then what happened to him?
He got beat with the dead chicken.
Exactly. So he knows that he's going to get an ass whooping if he comes up with a dead kitten. You know what I mean? So he's going to hide it this time.
He's not that smart.
He ain't that smart. He is so
He's
stupid.
fucking stupid.
Dude, I spent like 5 minutes staring at him, and he was staring at me, and I could tell he didn't know.
Like, what?
Yeah, he
What?
didn't know I was looking at him until I moved closer. You know how dogs will break eye contact with you all the time?
Yeah.
He just had visible confusion on his face, but he didn't. He was just looking like, is that a person, or am I supposed to be doing something?
And to be clear, Ermac is a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah.
He's also a character in Mortal Kombat too.
Right, but he is also a Great Dane, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Large dog.
Big old fucking dummy.
Dude, I was wrestling with him last night. My arms are just bruised.
They're swole.
Bruised up, dude. I look like an abused person.
Yeah.
Individual.
Anybody could be abused.
Yeah. Right. By a Great Dane in particular. Yeah. They're big animals.
Certainly.
Yeah, well, and so that doesn't bode well for your kitten.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I hope he's all right. Whatever happens, I just hope he's okay.
Yeah.
If someone snatched him up, like, that's shitty and wrong. But I hope at least if they did that, they're just fucking taking care of him. But and then my TV broke today.
Oh, no. Now, that I consider a crisis.
Yeah, dude, it is kind of a crisis. It's like, what the fuck do I do now? So I'm like, well, if it's broken anyway, then I'm just going to take it apart and try to fix it. And I think I may have figured out what the problem is. And when I say I mean Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah can do the thing. I need to solder new fucking capacitors into it, I believe.
Solder. And we're going to try.
I
But
see.
isn't it spelled solder?
It
Yeah,
is.
but-
Yes, but it's pronounced solder.
Yeah.
Look
It
at
is.
me like that again, I'll stab you in the eye with a soldering iron.
Ouch. Wow. Who are you talking to at this point? I don't even know.
I was looking at Sarah, but it's a quote from Joe Dirt.
Oh, I see. Hey,
That's what Christopher Walken says.
I see.
That's his catchphrase.
Yeah. So the operant theory that you have right now about Kitty's disappearance is that Ermac killed her and has hidden her or eaten her.
Well, it's a him, and no, I don't really think that's the
Okay.
case. He is too stupid. We would just see a dead kitty if that were the case.
I mean, so this cat's been missing about 5 hours. I guess I figure
What?
it'll come back.
28 hours.
Oh, 28. I see. Well,
Yeah.
that's getting longish.
We noticed him that he was missing, like, there was like a 2-hour time frame.
I see. That when he went missing. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I woke up at like noon and then just went. Usually, when I go outside, he just runs right up to me, and then he didn't. I was looking for him, and then I called Murph, and I was like, "Have you seen him?" And she was like, "Yeah, I have seen him, not but 45 minutes ago." And then it was,
But that was
And now-
and
yesterday.
now it's now.
That was all yesterday, though. That
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's worrisome.
Yeah.
But look on the bright side. We actually left a cat behind on Tyndall and came back and fetched it 9 months later.
Yeah, but that's like fucking 1 in a billion miracle. There's no way, like, you know what I mean?
But there's 7 billion people on Earth.
That's right.
Okay.
And more cats.
You know what? Okay.
Right. So I will just interject that I posted to this like lost and found animals from Hurricane Michael bullshit page that I'd found Fatso. And the lady who runs the page apparently runs all these pages whenever there's a natural disaster somewhere. And she's trying to get the word out to people that, hey, especially cats, but all animals, especially cats, will usually stay within a fairly small radius of where they were lost. So you just got to be persistent. You got to like try to follow their normal routines, but eventually you will find them as long as you stick
As long
within
as they
that radius.
can be found.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay the
Right.
course. Yeah. So this lady wants to spread the word. I can tell you where she should not spread the word at because of our limited audience, and that's on this podcast. This is not a good spread the word vehicle.
Yeah.
Not
Quite.
really. Yeah. All right. Well, good luck with Kitty. That's very challenging. Good luck with your television. That's deeply troubling. I mean,
Yeah, it's shitty. Luckily, Sarah, could kind of figured out what the fuck.
We're going to, an attempt will be made.
Yeah.
well, good luck.
And if not, if that doesn't work, then it's broken anyway, so fuck it.
Well, I will tell you this, and this is also news from the week. Sarah spent about 2 hours of her evening with me Friday evening just installing a driver. So thanks. Good on you, Sarah. Well done.
Thanks. I also spent 2 hours this afternoon just installing some fucking blinds. So it's been a challenging week.
Yeah, I got into that blind game too. Those blinds were fucking brutal. But I did figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
In the end.
The blind game. And where did you install these blinds? In your home, I take it?
Yeah, in the living room.
Yeah. Sarah was getting frustrated with the fucking, she was commenting on how unhelpful the fucking illustrations and instructions, if I can even call them instructions, were. And then I was like, oh, it's not so bad. Let me look at it. And it was.
But they were. They were that bad.
Weird, shitty picture and then just one line.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You're right. I understand. I do. But you got them installed, and that's good because you saved yourself a ton of money. Trust me.
I guess.
Oh, no question about that.
Well, they didn't even need to be, the installation wasn't the hard part. It's the shortening of the blinds. That was
why the fuck?
the bitch, which wasn't even truly necessary.
But once you start, you can't,
once you do one, you have to do the other, yeah.
You can't stop midstream or you have broken blinds, is what happened. Yeah, no one wants that.
Well, you can't stop with the hip-hop.
No, you can't stop with the
We
rock.
also ended up finally fixing the patio furniture that maybe a couple of our sons put together last year in time for a certain promotion party.
Oh, yeah.
Not saying who did it, but they never were right. So we spent, an hour and a half fixing those this weekend?
Oh, well, actually, that was the weekend.
Right,
no, that was 2 weekends ago, actually. And you know how I know? Because I scraped my knuckles so badly that they're just now healing. And that took over a week.
No. It was just before the party.
Whatever.
It was last weekend.
It seems.
Anyway.
I don't know. All I know is I went to work and I bled all over my shirt. I guess
there's been a lot of fixing things. Everyone's got a part in these stories. Sounds like, especially Sarah.
Well, the other thing is that I did actually I got a new laptop. Thank you, honey. I got a new laptop on which we're recording this podcast right now. And it took, I almost broke it, but I did figure it out ultimately.
Didn't you? That was last week, right?
Yeah.
You got the laptop.
Yeah, I guess.
We may not have recorded it on that laptop.
No, we didn't because it was broken at that point.
Your new laptop was broken.
Yeah. Well, I erased Windows off it in an attempt to install Linux. And then I installed it incorrectly. I installed it in BIOS mode instead of UEFI mode. And so as a result, the computer no longer recognized the hard drive, so I could only boot off of a live USB situation. And ultimately, I had to change a setting in the BIOS, but it took me 2 days to figure out what BIOS setting to change so that I would install UEFI style and then load that from therefore, and then just load it from the hard drive.
Nerd.
Yeah, we could have just let the thing boot itself up using Windows, but no, we had to stop that halfway through so that we could have a non-functioning computer for 4 days.
You know why, though? Because Microsoft is on the same evil train as Google, right? Without any of the benefits.
Hey, speaking of which, you want to hear some fun trivia I heard?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I'm pretty sure that I got the people right. I might have the gender and person. But anyway, look, the founder of 23andMe, she's a woman.
Yes, that's true.
Who is married to the CEO of Google.
Yeah, I think I knew that. I think I did know that. Yeah. So that way pretty soon you're going to be able to Google your own ancestry.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like there's some darker, more nefarious implications behind that.
Well, I don't know about nefarious, but I know this, that the craze towards voluntarily giving up your genetics to find out whether or not your great-grandfather was from fucking Ireland, that is leading to the apprehension of a number of murderers and rapists. And so that's a good thing, because what's happening is police are able to go into these databases with DNA from these crimes and get close matches to relatives. And then say, aha, based on the fact that you are related to this person, the DNA evidence proves that you, based on the preponderance of the facts and evidence, are in fact a murderer or a rapist. You fuck. So thanks a lot, 23andMe, and others.
Are you talking to me? Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. I'm not.
I got bad news for you, Nick.
I just heard you're a murderer and a rapist. You fuck. And usually when someone is angrily interjecting something with "you fuck" at the end, I just kind of snap to and assume.
And that's sad right there. I don't think you've got anything to worry about if you're not a murderer and a rapist, and I don't think you are.
I'm neither one of those.
Okay,
well,
good.
I'm not like a human murderer.
Yeah.
I'm not a rapist at all. I would say I'm not a human rapist, but that implies that I rape. Definitely
Well,
don't do that.
Based on previous episodes, though, it's possible that you may have been butt raped by aliens. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you've suggested
Any one of
that.
us could have been butt raped by aliens, honestly.
I think he was going to get raped by a UFC fighter, but that's not
Oh,
the
yeah,
case.
that's what it
The
was.
rapee, that makes you, by definition, not the raper.
Well,
Yeah.
That's true. That is
that
true.
makes me the rapee. We were talking about Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And or Drew Dober.
All right. So that happened this week. Not you getting raped, but something about, I don't know, 23andMe. Something happened this week. Somehow that related. Yeah. So you found out. Yeah. Go ahead.
Here's the other thing that happened is that our dumbass president gave a sterling speech on the 4th.
Now, that was pretty funny. He didn't overly politicize the 4th, but he did say that the Air Force took over the airports in the Revolutionary War. Now, obviously, it's kind
No,
of,
he gave credit to the Army.
yeah.
Kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
It's like funny.
When was the Air Force even founded?
Well, the Air Force wasn't founded until 1947. So
By Orville J. Redenbacher, the man who invented the airplane, as we all know.
and popcorn.
I've got to say, the memes that have been coming out of this mistake have been righteous. Like, so good. Like Washington crossing the baggage claim
You're right.
instead of
Yeah, it's
I like
so
classic.
many good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I assume that there was a teleprompter and they said ports and he just stuck air in front of it because who actually says the word ports without, airports? That's what we do is airports. But,
Yeah. And who reads a speech before giving it?
but
Stupid.
then
Stupid.
the fucking speech writers must have also been idiots because they referenced Fort McHenry, which was also in the War of 1812 and not the Revolutionary War.
Yeah,
Yep.
this
Good job, guys.
I will say this, as a former speechwriter, you got to be careful about your historical references. They need to be accurate. Or
Or else people will take them apart.
and you look dumb. So, as is what happened. It may not have been his fault, although, even when you depend on speechwriters, always a good idea to read the speech first. Always.
I feel like there was egg on everyone's face in that particular.
I was
Right.
just going to say that.
Kind of egg on the face of America, if you will. America.
Egg on the face.
But you know what?
That's really this whole past 3 years.
Why does it have to be egg?
Because, it could be tomato on our face. Could be sauce. Could be sauce
Yeah.
on our face.
I like sauce, a little sauce on your face. Or I like schmutz, actually.
Right.
Got a little schmutz on your face.
Right. Or some whipped cream on your nose. Could be a little
Yeah.
whipped cream on America's nose. But that's playful, right? It's like, oh.
Yeah, you're right. That's too playful.
Anyway, the point is that was a mistake. And, I at the end of the day, though, it
Harmless
is
mistake.
a harmless mistake. It is ironic to me, though, how much President Trump loves the military, considering that he never served in the military. And I find that fascinating. It's kind of like he's overcompensating, if you will.
I don't know if fascinating is the right word.
What word do you think is the right word?
I don't know. Well, fascinating is a good word, but I would say,
But in a sarcastic, angry tone of voice.
yeah. Dripping with vitriol. Fascinating. Really fascinating. Ooh.
See, I don't feel that way.
You got to have your cannon fodder,
Yeah,
when you're trying to start a war with Iran.
Dude, I guess I'm not saying anything because I'm not saying anything.
I'm backing out of this one.
I'm backing out of this one.
Yeah.
The facts speak for themselves. That's what I'll say.
Hey, you know what I heard?
What's that?
There was a guy who was a British Special Forces operative.
Yes.
Operative.
I like operator, though. Special Forces operator.
Call them operators.
They do call them operators, yeah. So that was actually the correct terminology. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It sounds like somebody who's playing a game of operation, but it's much more serious than that.
I don't know.
This looks like a guy
Operator
in a
is
chair.
seems cooler to me.
Well, it also for a man my age that we say, "Oh, I'm an operator." Really, you connect people's telephone calls on the switchboard. That's what it seems like to me.
So your Q is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Anyway, so the point is, there's a British operative who
Yes.
did a AMA and asked me anything. And,
Okay.
he was in Afghanistan, and somebody asked him if he felt any tensions between himself and other countries' special forces teams, and he said no, but he also said that the American special forces were under strict orders to not drink or gamble with British forces under any circumstances. So take it for what you will.
Yeah, I will tell you, so having been in Afghanistan, here's what I tell you. All American forces in country, in theater, are operating under what's known as General Order 1. And General Order 1 gives strict orders that American troops are not to drink, not to gamble, not to view pornography, and there's a whole list of not to have pets and so on. And General Order 1 is violated routinely but surreptitiously by all levels of command. But they are under strict orders not to drink or gamble, just in general. So as a British guy, he wouldn't understand that everybody was subject to those orders, so he would just say, from his point of view, that all American Special Forces operators were under strict orders not to drink or gamble with British operators. But it also means that they weren't meant to drink or gamble at all. Now, of course, again, I would say that order was routinely ignored, but on the down low.
Look, just don't go into the mess hall after 9 p.m. That's all I'm saying.
Not quite like that, but pretty much like that, yeah. Don't go into the military police barracks after 9 p.m., for sure. You're going to hear the sounds of a lot of guys jerking off and a lot of people surreptitiously swilling hooch that got mailed to them from the States.
What does that sound like?
I don't want to know.
The second part, not the first part.
Well, I don't know
what the first part sounds like.
Well, I don't know what either of them sound like. You know why? I never went into the military police barracks after 9 p.m., did I?
That's right.
I just know what went on in there. Anyway, because it was my business to know. All right. Anyway, let's move on from British Special Forces operators. I'll tell you
I'll tell you what.
What?
I've been looking for a cute sticker for my journal for like 2 weeks now, and I can't find shit. I am like 10 pages deep into this Etsy listing.
Yeah. No joy.
We ain't found shit.
For cute stickers. These motherfucking cute stickers are elusive, goddammit. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, the problem is, here's the real problem, is that I have a sticker, but it's on my last journal. And I wanted it from the same artist, but she doesn't do stickers. She does like embroidered patches. And I only got the sticker because I bought a zine, and she don't sell zines anymore. So like, now what? Now I wanted that sticker.
Well, can't you just do like a shout out to her?
I don't know.
Shouts out.
I mean,
Probably.
like
Shouts out to you, bitch.
Hey,
Hook us up on them stickers.
Give me some fucking stickers.
Some badass stickers. Some badass motherfucking cute stickers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand.
Anyway.
Yeah, I got it. I'm surprised Elsie didn't weigh in on that, because she usually likes to cuss a lot.
I do like to cuss a lot, but, I felt like it was covered.
True, we did kind of cover the whole...
I feel like swearing's good for you.
It can be. It can be excessive. But when you're talking about a motherfucking cute, badass sticker, I mean, you can't layer enough expletives onto that.
God damn it.
You know what I'm saying, motherfucker?
Did you know that there's been there's like a study that when you like smash your finger and you cuss, it actually makes it hurt less?
I don't doubt that's true, because I swear like a frickin' sailor when I hit my finger. I know what you're saying.
I think how much pain I'm in at all times because of how much I cuss, honey. Maybe I'm just in pain a lot.
Maybe. Oh my God, you are in pain. Maybe you should drink more. Have you thought about that?
An illness.
Here's a funny story.
Yes.
Do you remember my teacher, Mr. Forrester, Dad?
I remember you saying the name Mr. Forrester, yes. Because it reminded me at all times of the Subaru.
Quite. Anyway, he was the 11th grade English teacher, and I remember reading somewhere, definitely wasn't on Reddit, I wasn't using it then, but that there was a study, I probably just heard it, and someone was just making shit up, and I just believed it, like so many other things that
right, like religion.
My entire life.
Call yourself gullible?
Yeah. I
just like to believe. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I like to think this person wouldn't trick me.
Right.
But someone wouldn't just lie.
Right.
You think people
get on the internet and lie?
Right. Anyway, so I thought I had heard that there was a study that said there's some sort of, I don't know, psychological hint that the more you swear, the better a person you are morally. I said that.
Oh, yes. I've read. Sorry, continue.
Is that true? Have you read something like that?
So yes. So they tend to be more honest, which is then they extrapolate that people who are more honest tend to be of better moral character because they aren't worried about trying to say the right thing to make you happy. They're just going to say, look, there's the fucking way it is.
Okay.
So they're generally, now whether or not it's true, they're perceived to be.
Yeah, well, so here's what Mr. Forrester did. I said that in his class, and he said, Nick, can you step outside? I'd like to talk to you outside class. And I was like, okay. And I stepped out, and he closed the door, and he said, that's fucking bullshit. And then he went back.
Which left you with a lot of mixed.
Yeah, I was like, what does that mean? What is he trying to tell me?
I think he was just trying to joke you.
I think he was just yanking my chain, just joshing me.
Right.
Just trying to confuse you, and it worked.
Right. And that was, 6-7 years ago, and still you are here confused. Well, that's
dazed and confused.
I call that heartwarming. Is what I call
he was a cool fucking teacher, probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, obviously. That is funny though that he took you out in the hallway and said that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Couldn't resist. Am I right? Couldn't resist. Well, let's keep going. Let's press on here. And
yeah, let's do that. Hey, dude, I saw this. There's this 30 for 30 on like that guy Kobayashi, the professional hot dog eater who was like the most dominant professional hot dog eater of all time until what was his name?
Some other dude.
Sherry?
I saw that this was a thing on ESPN.
Yeah, well, look, it was cool, whatever. And they there's like this huge, like, whole crazy fucking story, soap opera story about how they did Kobayashi foul. But the moral of the story is it's, I think, 72 hot dogs in 12 minutes. Now bun and all.
That is
bun and all.
They dip it though in the water.
They dip it in the water, which is even thinking about that makes me want to fucking gag.
But that's the technique. That's the technique that he pioneered and perfected. And now everyone does that.
Yeah, that's just standard. Which is like, his legacy forever. That'll always be his thing. I mean, the people who take that shit seriously, they know who he is. Everyone knows who he is.
Exactly. No one can take it away from him either.
Yeah, everyone knows that he got done dirty. But let me just ask you, how long do you think it would take you to eat 72 hot dogs?
Holy shit. 72? I don't think I could. I mean, I could choke down 8 hot dogs pretty quickly, I feel like. But that's like a ninth.
If you had all day, you wake up at 6 in the morning and you have until midnight, do you think you could eat 72 hot dogs? Bun and all.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a lot of bread.
I know Dad could.
It's like there's no question about it, really.
No, I know you could. If you really want, like if it was like, if there's a prize or something, I know you could. We never did eating that giant pizza we were supposed to eat. I know we could have bashed that fucking thing.
I'm surprised we haven't done it now. I think we still can.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of challenge. But I just remember thinking that one challenge with that fucking pizza place with the giant pizza had, it wasn't that big a pizza.
No, not at all. I mean, now I will say this. Your half-brother Noah and stepbrother Bradley did go to Annapolis and do this unbelievably grotesque milkshake challenge. 6-pound milkshake.
It's not grotesque. It's just 6 pounds. It's not grotesque. It's delicious.
I feel like you would feel grotesque afterwards, though.
The fun fact is they said that when they were throwing up the milkshake because they couldn't hold it down any longer, it tasted and felt exactly as it did going down. It was no warmer. There was no stomach acid. It was just throwing up delicious.
Coming back up now.
That's probably the best vomit session you could ask for, to be honest.
Exactly.
So they didn't do it then? Did they do it?
No, they did it. They didn't throw up until after they'd consumed it. So they won their shirts.
Did they? So they won their shirt. Oh, that's great.
Well, that's the important thing. That's the important thing.
Did they at least get a photo put on the Hall of Fame?
No, you don't get one.
No, but I have photos of them doing this. I can share with you.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Sonia Thomas?
No.
Person?
Also known as the Black Widow.
No.
So she is one of Kobayashi's competitors. And she has beaten some of his records. He's beaten some of hers back and forth. She serves hamburgers at the drive-thru window at the Burger King on Joint Base Andrews.
No way.
What?
No way.
Yes way.
That's what she does for a living?
That's what she does for a living when she's not eating hot dogs and winning thousands of dollars for eating hot dogs, yeah.
See,
what in the fuck?
You know,
Right?
And Nick, you don't think we can make this podcast go? I think we could. I
We
think
can
really
interview
could.
her. I bet she would do it.
Oh yeah. I think we should have her on the pod immediately.
Yeah, but like, you know, we got like 10 questions for her, and then what? You know?
And then we say,
How many hot dogs can you eat?
We'll give her Brad's milkshake T-shirt and send her on her way.
yeah, exactly.
I want to know how the fuck you get a nickname like the Black Widow in a hot dog eating world.
Because
She's so known for destroying the male competition.
and not only that, those that have tried to challenge her have died of overdosing of hot dogs. It is possible. They literally just die. Their stomachs explode.
Okay. What about you, Elsie? How long do you think it would take you to eat 72 hot dogs?
72 hot dogs.
If you had a day, you start at 6 in the morning, that's all you're doing all fucking day. Could you do it by midnight?
No,
Sarah?
I could not.
Oh, no, I already know you couldn't do it. It's
Not with buns, dude. I think 72 just fucking meat sticks, maybe. I don't know about plus bread.
Yeah, plus bread is where it really
The-
is.
Well,
The
now,
bread
hang
is
on.
like
We
the
haven't clarified this challenge at all. Are you allowed to go to the vomitorium at any point, or do you got to keep it all down?
Yeah, like, well, no. You can't do that in the hot dog eating contest. You can't just go out to the side and throw out, can you?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. I think you got to keep it
It's
all
like
down.
the rules of a hot dog eating contest, but you're the only one in the contest. And you got all day, baby. So, you know,
So
take your time.
it's a contest against yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Just
but
to see how low you can go.
Yeah.
What rock bottom truly is.
How low can you go?
well, I'm glad you're setting goals, son. That's the important thing.
I'm just
Well,
asking.
I'm positive
I'd say
both
shit.
you, Nick and Peter could do it. I'm just not sure how long it would take you.
I'll tell you
Nick,
what
how long would it take you?
Oh, me? I think I could probably do it in a couple hours.
Really?
About 36 an hour. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so the next time we're all in town,
36 an hour? You fucking savage, dude. No way.
that's a hot dog every 2
Put
minutes.
36 hot dogs in the bun on a plate in front of me. Like, you got 1 hour. Fuck you, dude.
It's one hot dog every 2 minutes.
It's easy. It's so easy.
I got the rookie stomach. I'm sorry. I already know there's no fucking way that could happen. Maybe if I I don't know. If I hadn't eaten for maybe 36 hours, where I was just surviving on tubes of Crest for weeks.
As one does.
As
you do.
one does.
Yes. Well, in any event, luckily none of us have to find that out. But I'll tell you what I could eat 72 of, no problem. And that's the delicious, refreshing appetizers at Ziff's. Yes, Ziff's, a fine dining experience in Invercargill, New Zealand, and a proud sponsor, fake of course, of this podcast for more than 100th of a century. That's right, it's Ziff's, right there in Invercargill, New Zealand. Come on down for the relaxed continental atmosphere and stay for their freshly slain kiwi and their delicious koala bear entree. That's right, Ziff's, proud fake sponsor of a Shinn show. Then after you're done at Ziff's, head on over to the throne room for a light, refreshing tattoo, maybe with some heavy lines, at the throne room, also in Invercargill, New Zealand, also a proud fake sponsor of this podcast for nearly a billionth of a millennium. All right, so anyway, got that cleared up. And by the way, shout out to Ben. And if he's still
let me
listening,
ask you,
Chris.
do you think Zips would ever send us a cease and desist if they heard this?
Are you kidding me?
No doubt.
No way. They'd be all over this. No,
Free advertisement. Who doesn't love that?
that's right. Yeah. And I hear the koala is delicious. In any
I
event,
was thinking maybe they wouldn't, but if you keep going with the whole freshly slain kiwi thing, it might be legally obligated to.
I don't know.
I'm
Doug.
not saying you should stop saying that because
You're
it's funny,
Yeah.
but
Be
Anyway.
aware of your consequences.
Well, the point is simply that it's fake. But it is a goal of mine in life to do this podcast from Ziff's. That's a goal
yeah,
in
that
life
would be
that
that'd
I
be really
have,
cool.
and I feel confident that one day I will achieve.
Just hand him a flash drive with all the episodes on it. And you
they
set
got
him down in the back
non-stop
room.
time for that.
No, we take them captive. And
What-
set them down in the back room and be like, now sit down, shut up, and listen.
Now, here's what
You're gonna
happened.
This
Join
sounds
us.
like an episode of It's Always Sunny in
I
Philadelphia.
swear to God, I was just
And then this first.
Oh, wait a minute. I actually don't know what happened because my headphones got unplugged accidentally.
I was just thinking that, Elsie. That sounds just like a fucking episode of It's
Yeah,
Always.
Sarah's trying to kidnap people and force them to listen to the Shinn Show under duress.
Look, we could totally just like make a one long clip of every Zifson's endorsement that we've ever given and be like, here, this is why you need to let us take up your common room for the next 2 hours.
Just like every segue. Maybe if we don't have too much context, we might trick them.
What's the trickery? There's no trickery. We just show up and say, hey, we've been claiming that you're a sponsor for 100th of a century or more. And we'd like to
They're how long is that? You're like, I don't know. Do the math, nerd. Anyway, back to the pitch.
Point is,
you ruined my story and possibly the entire day.
Right. We're just going to go ahead and set up right here. And we're going to just take a table. We don't need more room than a table. That's all we need. And we're going to do our podcast right here. And if you'd like, as we're doing our podcast, you can serve us a delicious meal, some of your freshly slain kiwi and one of your koala bear entrees. And we'll just, do our thing right here at your table. And if you'd like, we could interview you.
But we're going to need you to tell every other patron to, keep it down. Maybe be completely silent, actually.
Well, no, that background ambient noise, that's going to be key.
Pure Zif.
Right. We're going to have to mic up.
I just liked them on Facebook, and they only have 2,000 followers. I think that we could boost their membership by cross-posting them on a Shinn Show. I'm just saying.
I think we should. I think we should at once.
We could definitely boost their membership by possibly 2 people.
At least 2.
We should hit them with that pitch.
Now,
the
listen.
numbers don't lie.
Yeah, listen, if they only have 2,000 followers on Facebook and we add 2 more, by my math, that's about 100%. So I think we're doing pretty good for them.
Is that coincidence?
No, I don't think so. No, it's just basic math. That's all it is.
Yeah, just basic anatomy.
Yeah. All right, well, good.
Oh, hey, that leads me to my question I was going to ask you. If it was, I may have asked this before, but is there any meat you wouldn't try?
Yeah, you've asked that. Yeah.
Assuming it's properly prepared.
Yeah, you've asked that before. We've all been through that. We're not going.
You want us to all be cannibals? That's cool. We know.
Yeah, it's true. We talked about human flesh, the whole thing. We've been all through it.
It doesn't have to be human flesh, but human flesh definitely.
But you have asked. Hey, but I will tell you this, and this is a fact. This is new. I did listen to that fucking podcast.
Oh,
Jim Stamets.
That Paul Stamets one?
Stamets.
How was that?
Or
Well,
the other one.
it was about
the Rick dude. Not the Rick dude, the alien dude.
He already listened. No, we're talking about a different one.
We're talking about, Paul Stamets.
I'll step on back then.
Yeah, Paul Stamets is a mycologist and, a freak. Anyway, the bottom line is that I thought it was a great podcast. I think it was about an hour too long. Much like
that's Joe Rogan in a fucking nutshell.
Well, our podcast is about an hour, right? Most people think our podcast is about an hour too long, those who listen to it. So I
like long podcasts so that I can just, I don't have to be actively listening. I just, sometimes when I'm driving.
Yeah, it's soothing.
Like when they're not talking about actually important shit, they're just sitting there bullshitting, then you just don't.
You mean like this podcast? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly like this podcast the whole time. But we do it the whole time.
Exactly. This podcast must be your favorite podcast.
Yeah. Well,
except you don't listen to it. You've already established that.
Some podcasts have we just need to up our production value a little bit and then.
Really? Like what? Are you saying with more music?
No. Well,
more harmonica?
More music couldn't possibly hurt. I do have a fever. All right.
I don't see you bringing out
any. Is more harmonica.
Right. I was thinking you were going to say cowbell, and I'm going to tell you don't ever break that out. So, anyway, on to sports, I guess, because I guess it was a slow news week. That's the truth. Although there is one thing that happened this week that I found interesting, and God rest their souls, man. Those 13 or 14 Russian sailors that died in that nuclear sub accident, man. That's tragic.
Didn't hear about it.
Yeah. Run us down.
Well, I think I just did. Now, this submarine was experimental, and it was one that was basically designed to get close to our shores without our being able to detect it. So from that point of view...
That didn't fucking work.
What's that?
Well, that didn't fucking work.
Right. It doesn't work when it catches fire and everyone on it dies. You're right. That's a serious anomaly, as we would say in the space business. But yeah, and I'm glad that they're not improving their ability to deliver seaborne ballistic missiles, sea-launched ballistic missiles at our cities. So sorry for those sailors that died, but I'm glad that Russia isn't advancing their sea-launched ballistic missile technology. There you go. You're welcome. Now you know.
I enjoyed that rundown. Thanks so much.
Let me tell you what, sports is going to be a lot more interesting than
Oh my God, yes.
whatever the fuck you're talking about right now.
Right.
He checked out.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, God rest their souls. Anyway, what?
I'm just kidding. It's
Yeah.
no laughing matter. People
No.
died. I'm sorry for their families.
Yeah.
Our thoughts and prayers.
You're right, exactly. I mean, I realize you're
Etc.
more concerned with your own cat, but that's okay. That's human
I
nature.
definitely am far more concerned with my own cat than 14 fucking Russians I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. I'm
I appreciate your
far more
candor.
concerned about that cat.
I understand.
Those men died in the name of science. It's tragic, but it's a noble cause. All right.
Yeah.
That cat might have just got eaten by a fucking hawk or something. It's not so noble. Right.
Right. Or could have been swallowed whole by your fucking Great Dane.
Yeah.
That also could happen.
Oh God,
and-
dude! I watched Moose eat like half of a dead rabbit the other day.
And Moose is another dog in your employ.
Yeah, and he was just for clarification, he's another dog, and it was tough to listen to. It was really tough to listen to.
Because the rabbit was still alive.
No, it was dead, but it was like a whole rabbit.
There's some crunch.
Oh, I see. So it's well, you would have to imagine it as a bag of rabbit chips, basically.
Yeah, it was like someone had like a sandwich baggie full of pretzels, and they were just.
See, that's
Yeah, that tracks.
And then he was just gone, dude. He just swallowed it whole. He had 2 legs sticking out of each side of his mouth. Fucked up. It's kind of funny in like a dark, morbid way.
Yeah, obviously. I find it amusing.
But it was tough to listen to. It was like,
Well,
right,
I guess my point
It
is
didn't
that
last very long.
I would have been a lot tougher to listen to had the rabbit been shrieking in agony. Yeah.
No, the cat saw to that for sure. The cat had just.
I did
defied
come
the
home.
rabbit.
I came home the other day and the cat had caught a baby rabbit. And I don't know if you've ever heard a baby rabbit in its death throes,
No, no.
but it sounds like a screaming 3-year-old.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So that was traumatizing. And so at first I tried to get the cat away from the rabbit. Well, Murphy
It's
did.
far too late.
It was. I don't know if you guys have ever skinned a rabbit, but their skin basically just like you make one cut and they just come off. Like
Ooh.
it just pops
Yeah.
off really
I've
easy.
heard you don't even need to make a cut. You can
Pretty
just
much.
grab them and rip their skin off.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
convenient right there.
Right. So that's
This
what
is-
happened to this baby rabbit that was still alive.
Yeah.
So that was horrifying. And then I let Moose out to
Yeah,
let
that
him
cat is a
kinda
little
take care of it.
Oh, I was talking about a different time.
This was a different time.
So I'm glad we're sharing all of these stories of animal on
Yeah.
hot animal
The
on
point
animal.
is
kinda
that I
jumped
don't
off
have
the
to
deep
worry
end.
about rabbits in the garden. That's all I have to
Okay,
say.
that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's real
You don't have
tender.
a garden, but that's all right.
Yeah, but if you had one, you wouldn't have to worry about
If
rabbits.
you had one, those fucking rabbits would be sorry.
I've
Just-
got some tomatoes.
To say nothing of rats. All right, so that's good because I don't like rats. I don't mind rabbits. The rabbits are cute
Rabbits
and fluffy.
are all right. They don't bite you. They just run away,
Oh, they do if they're in the Arctic. Those Arctic hares, those some bad motherfucking rabbits.
Well,
right
hares
there.
are different from rabbits, though.
Yeah,
aren't
well,
they?
they look. Yeah, they're bigger. That's it. I mean,
they're bigger and meaner.
and
like,
and with sharper.
in the same way that rats are different from mice.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, so
So we can say that hares are the rats of rabbits.
yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, that is. But they are prettier still than a rat.
Definitely.
There's not an attractive
Making
rat.
progress.
Yeah, we are. All right, so on to sports. And sports is more interesting than dead Russian sailors. I agree
Oh.
with you.
Yeah.
Wait, real quick.
yeah.
Pop culture. Stranger Things came out.
Oh, shit,
Heard
yeah.
about that, yeah.
I mean, we've just
Still
been
need to
rambling
watch the
on.
second season.
Well, you should have watched the second season, dog, because then the third one don't make no sense otherwise.
Well,
Yeah, you got to watch it because the third season's quite good. I'm quite hooked, and I'm only 4 episodes in.
Yep.
List
Stranger Things.
after we finish Handmaid's Tale.
All right. Yeah, but it's on the list. I mean, there's a lot on the list, but that's one thing that's definitely on the list. Stranger Things 3. Strong recommendation from both Bradley and from Elsie as well. So,
you watched the whole thing already, Elsie?
No, Brad's on the last episode. I'm only 4 episodes in, but it's very good. Recommend. 5 out of 5 stars.
he's been singing its praises, and so is
5
Elsie.
out of 5 stars. Excellent.
Yes. And then Yeah, I don't know what else is. I've not listened to anything new, not seen anything new, but finishing The Sopranos quite a impressive accomplishment in my opinion. That's what I'm going with. But so before we go any further, we did try and see Spider-Man A Long Way From Home, and it was sold out. Tried to go on Independence Day.
That's
yeah. I just kind of said fuck the whole Marvel franchise right now, dude.
Why?
I'm just done with it. Because Endgame was it pissed me off real bad. And they kind of fucked everything up, and now every subsequent movie that is in that same fucking. Oh, you shaking your head right there, like
yeah. Endgame was amazing. Fuck you.
You want me to? Do you want me to ruin it for you? Because I will.
No. We've had this discussion before. You were wrong then, and you're wrong now.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you think I was wrong about. First off, but I definitely wasn't. And another thing is that there was a whole other aspect of how it was completely fucked off that I hadn't even realized. That my friend told me, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude, you're fucking right." That's another And here's the thing: is there was a way to make this movie and not have so many ridiculous, unfixable plot holes in it and still make the money and still make it good. And they just didn't do it. And now it's all fucked off.
I disagree. I mean, it's just an entertainment. Don't think too hard about it, dude. That's my advice.
Right. You know what? Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Sometimes I am. And now, at long last,
because I do like Spider-Man. I like to watch Spider-Man sling webs. You know,
well,
no matter what the context is.
And I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Yeah, he's a fun Spider-Man.
He's young, cute, and stupid.
Yeah.
All the things you think Peter Parker would really be.
Like I feel like is a key characteristic of Spider-Man.
Well, because Spidey senses are tingling at all times.
Right, which is a lot like adolescence when your Spidey senses are tingling.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Hair starts growing in unusual places.
Your Spidey sense starts tingling.
I don't know if that's what they told you guys. Whatever euphemisms they used. I'm not sure.
Sex education's come a long way.
Yeah, I just thought that was a Marvel thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Maybe Stan Lee ripped it off.
Right. Right, boys, your Spidey senses are going to start tingling, and you're going to need to wear deodorant, okay? So, anyway.
Your Spidey senses are going to start tingling in ways you never could have even imagined before.
Right. You're going to need to take some cold showers.
Produce webbing. It's going to be real slimy.
No, I did have a film strip when I was in 5th grade that talked to me about the urges that I was going to have, and then I was going to need to play sports or take cold showers to deal with them.
Really?
Yeah, that's no shit.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Fun trivia.
I didn't do either of those things, actually. Not to deal with those urges. No, sir.
And now here we are.
My friends and I got to watch a girl get a period at a sleepover at her friend's house, and the friend's mom made a pancake in the shape of a uterus to explain to her what was happening in her life.
Hey, you know what? Kudos to that mom.
The uterus fucking pancake.
Yeah, kudos to the mom for her skill with pancake design. I'm sure this is before they had those, little molds that you could just do it the lazy way.
Yeah. No, I'm sure she had to do that shit by hand. And let me just say, I've not seen a single dick-shaped pancake in my life, so I don't know what
we can change that. I'm making you dick cakes this weekend, honey.
You need to get out more, dude. Dick-shaped pancakes are all over the place.
Right. International House of Dick Pancakes. IHODPA.
Yeah. Dick cakes.
I'll make you a dick cake with whipped cream. It'll be amazing.
IHOD.
Oh, that's great. That's just great. All right. Now can we finally, at long last, get on to sports?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So sporting news number one, in my opinion, the U.S. women's soccer team, since last we spoke, did indeed defeat England 2-1 and then went on to whoop the Netherlands' ass 2-0 in the final to win their 4th World Cup championship, with Megan Rapinoe getting the golden boot.
Those women are ballers, dude. Isn't it crazy how shitty the men's soccer team is, but the women's soccer team is just fucking trouncing everybody? Well, has trounced everybody.
Well, dig this. The women's prize money is $30 million. The men's prize money for the next World Cup will be $400 million. So when Megan Rapinoe says, hey, or Rapinoe, sorry, when Megan Rapinoe says, hey, I'm not getting paid enough, they are getting paid less than 1/10 of what the men get paid. So
that's true, but there's a lot of people who aren't getting paid enough.
That does not diminish the
You're right, but like they're still getting like millions of dollars. Like
don't dismiss that.
I'm just saying there's people who, I don't know, like let's say UFC fighters who are getting paid like tens of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
So, like, who really worked harder for their payday? Who's really getting fucked there?
Well, I don't. It's not.
They're totally and women in the UFC. This is just anybody. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you take a look at the number of viewers, the number of eyeballs,
right.
I mean, there's a billion people who watch that final today.
You're right. Either way, it's fucked up. I guess it does sound like I'm diminishing their problem. It is more fucked up. If you're going to pay the men that much, if you're going to pay a soccer player that much, pay every soccer player that much.
At least the ones that are
twice as hard for half as much payout. That's how women and minorities have to do things.
Well, at least in this particular case, the women worked every bit as hard as the men, for sure, for a tenth of the pay. So that's just a fact. And I will tell you that their team, that U.S. women's team, overcame a lot of adversity and took on all comers. They not only did they take on all comers, they beat every top women's European team in the world, and everyone knows that the Europeans, along with the South Americans, are the best at soccer. Except for women's soccer in the United States is indisputably, over the last really close to 30 years, has been dominant. It's been dominant.
And men's soccer team is just garbage.
Which is, you figure, how can that possibly be, right?
Well, so I feel like there's certain physical things like that, just how men have certain physical attributes about them that are stronger or faster or better, like in whatever way, like lifting certain ways than women. I think there's certain things that also women are more suited to do. I think that might, like the reason that, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know the exact muscle groups, but I'm just saying, like, there might be something that women can play soccer better than men can. You know, when against the control group of themselves. You know what I mean?
No, I don't, because it doesn't make any sense. Why would for example, let me give you another example. The French men's team and the women's French team are about the same quality. They're both very good teams. The U.S. women's soccer team is head and shoulders above the U.S. men's team. Head and shoulders.
Swap what I said about genders and just about countries then.
Certain muscle groups in different countries.
Based on
no. Certain women in certain countries are better at certain sports than men. Like how the NBA is just, it's
I'm
ridiculous.
pretty sure that's just some sort of gender bias.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that, Sarah.
Sounds like it.
It's just a theory. It's a hypothesis.
That's 3-on-1 right there. I can't argue with that.
If someone on the U.S. women's soccer team gets beat up or murdered, do they have it coming for what they done to Ned?
No, they do not.
I think everybody's got it coming for what they done to Ned.
That's true. In the big picture, you're right.
Fair.
By the way, that's a Unforgiven reference for those who
man
might not
or
know.
woman.
Yeah, best film ever made by Clint Eastwood. I'll qualify that. Best Clint Eastwood film ever, Unforgiven.
Clint Eastwood.
Wint Cleastwood.
Wint Cleastwood. That's his Bizarro.
Right, Bizarro World. Like, multiverse name. All right. Hey, one other quick thing. So did you guys watch the UFC fights last night?
Hell
Are
yeah.
you shitting me, dude? These fights were, they're so delicious. Really, just the one I've been waiting for. The one Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. Delicious. That was fucking awesome.
Who won?
I love that.
Why? What was so good about it?
All right. Let me
break it down.
stage. Let me set the stage for you, okay? Ben Askren his professional fighting career was in ONE FC. It's not the UFC, it's ONE FC.
Okay. It's different. I got it.
Right. And he's known for being he's a phenomenal wrestler.
Apparently God's gift to man.
Well, whatever. He talks a lot of shit. He's one of those guys who just talk shit. You know what I mean?
But he's got...
And in ONE FC, admittedly, and therefore in his entire professional MMA career, he was 18-0.
Okay. Undefeated.
Undefeated. So we traded Mighty Mouse for fucking Ben Askren, dumbest goddamn trade of all time. And then Ben Askren comes to the UFC saying, I'm undefeated. Just talking a lot of shit, dude. Because there's a lot of fighters, to put this into context, there's a lot of plenty of fighters who are like, I'm not going to talk shit. We're just going to fight. and then we'll see what's what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when the other guy's talking shit, you want the one who's not talking shit to win, naturally.
Of
right?
course.
Right. So he was talking a lot of shit on Jorge Masvidal, who's his upcoming opponent. Like a lot of shit about how he's sloppy and old and not looking as strong or as fucking, quick as Ben Askren. All right. And I'm a huge fan of Jorge Masvidal because he's been fighting people since he was 16. Like his first fights were in Kimbo Slice's backyard in Florida when he was just like a 16-year-old kid just fighting dudes on YouTube. Like way back, like, I don't know, 13. No.
This is Jorge Masvidal. So Jorge Masvidal is a self-made man.
Masvidal is, yeah. Well, what it is that he's one of those guys who's like, look, whatever happens is going to happen. I'm going to fuck you up. We're going to fight, and we'll see what happens. And Ben Askren's talking all this shit, so they fight, all right? And now we'll fast forward to the fight here. Now, I've been waiting for this fight for a long time, dude, because I hate Ben Askren. Even before they were fighting each other, I just didn't fucking like Ben Askren. And I've always loved Jorge Masvidal. Right?
So now Jorge Masvidal has a chance to whip your least favorite fighter.
Boy, does he.
Yeah, so like the ref says, "Are you ready?" He says, "Yeah." "Are you ready?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Fight." And they the round starts. And then I look at my phone and then it's over. The whole fight's over. What happened is Ben Askren went in for a takedown like
he's a wrestler.
Masvidal knew he was going to do because he's a wrestler. And then Jorge Masvidal literally said, when the ref said fight, he just ran from the cage, full sprint, and just kneed him in the face. Like, he knocked him the fuck out, dude. Stiff as a board.
So
it was the quickest knockout in UFC history.
And quickest knockout in UFC history. That's one way Masvidal made history. And two is that it was Ben Askren's first professional loss.
I'll be darned. And in spectacular fashion. And let me add that he was clearly, in this case, starched.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was a starching right there, dude. That was textbook starching. And, dude, like, if it had been anyone but Ben Askren, I would have been concerned, dude. Because he was like, I shit you not, he was shaped like a banana lying sideways on the ground.
That knockout made me wonder why we are so stiff when we lose consciousness.
Yeah. And then when they woke him up about, I don't know, a minute and a half later, the fucking camera pans in on his face. He's just on his knees. The guy's explaining to him what just happened, and he's got no idea where he is. Yeah. Like, he's just looking around like, what? Where am I? Like, what happened? And then, like, normally the protocol is when there's a winner and a loser, the referee holds their hands, right? And he raises the winner's hand.
Yes.
And whatever. But nah, dude, as soon as Ben Askren was like awake, they just got him out of there. And they had to help him down the stairs, bro. Like, he was fucked up.
Well, yeah, a knee to the face is going to do that to you.
Yeah, well, just that knee, Jorge Masvidal's knee to his face, yeah. That one in particular. People get kneed in the face all the time, but it doesn't always go like that, dude.
Well, he had his forward momentum, right? So the knees going forward at the same time, he's lunging forward. It's like double the impact.
The running start, definitely does do that. And now you would think the way it looked and the way he just went stiff like that, you would think almost that it's fake, but except for the fact that Jorge Masvidal smashed him in the fucking face 2 more times before the ref could even. Obviously, the ref had no idea it was going to go down like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, Jorge Masvidal got a good 2 smashes in before.
And, like, he knew that Askren was unconscious, I'm pretty sure. That was just for... That was just for his own pleasure.
Yeah. And it was delicious. I was like, oh, my God, yes. Culminating. For so long, this fight has been... I've been waiting for this fight for months. Ben Askren's talking all this shit, and then Jorge Masvidal, I was like, I'm just going to fuck you up as soon as that fight starts. And then he did. And it was just in spectacular fashion, in record-making fashion, too. And it was, look, the official record is 5 seconds was the knockout, but literally it was 1 second. 5 seconds is just how long it took the ref to get Jorge off him and then wave his arm.
Right. Well, that's cool. I'm sure that was not the fight of the night because anything that ends in 5 seconds is not the fight of the night. But it was your fight of the night.
Definitely knockout of the night. I'll promise you that right now.
No.
That had to be knockout of the night.
And
So the other fight that happened on that card was Nunes. Well, there were two.
Well, there was Luke Rockhold and
and also Jones and Santos.
Well, that was the main event. Yeah.
Yeah, but also on this card that we cared about was Nunes versus Holmes.
Yeah. So how did Holly, the preacher's daughter, Holmes, fare against Nunes?
No bueno.
Yeah,
she got head kicked into the shadow realm.
It was fucking awesome.
Oh, really? Because you hate Holm?
I don't hate Holly Holm. I just really like Amanda Nunes.
Oh, okay.
I don't hate Nunes, but I wanted Holm. Dude, Holm is the one who is a 14-time international world champion kickboxer. I thought if anyone was going to get knocked out with a head kick, it would be Nunes, right? Nah. Holly Holm was like scared. She was like, putting the feelers out, doing like these weak kicks, just seeing like what she could get away with. And Nunes just saw it and just head kicked her head clean off.
And that was that. But I will say this about that, which is this, that Amanda Nunes is a pretty bad fighter, and she's a lot younger. Age does matter at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, Holly Holm is like almost, I think she's 39.
Yeah.
And Nunes is 32.
She's on the tail end of her career. There's a couple of fighters that I saw that I was like, I think they should probably retire. Diego Sanchez, he should probably retire. Holly Holm, she should probably retire. Luke Rockhold, who got his fucking jaw broken in his fight, he should probably retire.
Yeah, got it. And so how did Del Santos fare against Roy Jones? Or John Jones, sorry. Or which Jones was it?
It was Thiago Santos.
Oh, Thiago
I guess
Santos.
you're close. Thiago Santos, close-ish. He did a good job against John Jones. They won all 5 rounds, and it was a split decision.
Oh, really? With John Jones winning?
Probably the closest that Jones has ever come to being beaten.
To being knocked out, for sure. I don't know about being beaten.
Santos hurt his knee in the first round, and I think that really
tore his ACL. Tore his ACL
shit.
in the first round and fought for 25 more minutes. 24, whatever.
Very impressive. And yet,
dude.
In a losing effort.
Yeah. The thing about Jones is his reach is so ridiculous that once you start throwing those power shots, like he ain't afraid to run away. He'll just like put that distance with his he had an 8-inch reach advantage. So he would just fucking push him away and run away when the slugs started coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll get on his bicycle. That's what they call that. I'm gonna get on my bicycle now.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Yep, so
and it worked.
Well, and so to take the champ's belt, you got to beat the champ. It's not enough to go toe to toe with him. You got to beat him.
Nope, that's not true.
No, it is true. It's proven itself to be true time and again.
Yeah, well, Henry Cejudo didn't beat the champ, and like the judges gave it to him.
Well, there are obviously exceptions, but it's a truism in fighting that in order to beat the champ, you got to. The champ, meaning the champion, generally has an advantage in the scoring. Generally. Not always, obviously. There are exceptions that prove the rule.
I felt like John Jones has, he's their golden egg right now. That's why he's getting away with all the stuff he's gotten away with. And I do feel like if you're going to leave it in the hands of the judges, you got to I don't think you can, honestly. If you're going to fight John Jones, you have to finish him. And you can't really finish John Jones. There's nobody with his reach, like as big as him, who's strong enough to knock him out.
I don't know. I mean, anytime you get into the ring, though, there's the risk, right? Eventually, someone will do it, except if you're Money Mayweather. No one has knocked Money Mayweather. That's for sure. I mean, I realize
I don't know
we're mixing.
if anyone ever knocked out Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson either.
That's true. Although he did have some losses, didn't he? Or a loss? No, never.
He had a loss. He had a loss. I know he defended.
I mean, he obviously had one loss.
He defended his belt for 11 years. Like he defended it 13 times.
Yeah. Well, he probably
and that's his belt that he defended. That's not all his professional fights.
Maybe he maybe he lost a sibling or a loved one.
11 years. Can you imagine that, dude? Being the champion of your division for 11 years. All this new blood coming up and nobody can do it, dude. Nobody has the fucking skill that he had.
Well, you're a Mighty Mouse fan and good for you. That's what I said.
Dude, the numbers don't lie. There's no one who's ever done anything even close to that. To hold your belt against all defenders for 11 years?
I can't think of anybody who's done that except for Money Mayweather, also undefeated.
But that's in boxing, though.
Well, that's true. That is true. Rocky Marciano, also undefeated, also in boxing.
There's
but
far more
UFC
variables. You know what I mean? There's far more things people can fuck you up with in MMA.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so all hail Mighty Mouse Johnson. One other thing I would add.
Sure.
So good fights last night. That's the bottom line. Good fights.
Yeah, they were
good.
fantastic fights, dude. I really just wanted to see the Masvidal-Askren fight because I hate John Jones and I didn't really know who Thiago Santos was, and But that was a good fight. I actually did want to see Holm and Nunes too because I was rooting for Holm, but she got banished. But that fucking Masvidal fight, dude. Oh,
so sweet, so sweet, so satisfying,
sweet.
so satisfying,
so delicious.
All right, well that's great. Hey, one other quick thing. Today, this very day, would have been your Uncle Theodore's 59th birthday. He was born in 1959. No, I'm sorry. It would have been his 60th birthday today. He was born in 1959. So shout out to our beloved late Uncle Ted, who would have been 60 years old today.
Good. Happy birthday, Uncle Teddy. Hopefully you're out there on the mothership listening.
I was just going to say he ain't dead. He just went home.
That's right.
Just went home.
That's right.
Look, if there's a mothership to go on, he's on that motherfucker.
For sure.
He is on the mothership right now with Missy and his other dog. One of his dogs was named Missy. With his two lovely dogs orbiting the Earth right now in the mothership.
Happy birthday, Uncle Teddy. I'll pour one out for you.
Thanks for...
Right. I've got many fond memories of Uncle Teddy.
Yes. Let's all share one right now. Here's a real fond memory of Uncle Teddy that I have. When I was 10 years old on my 10th birthday, so this would have been on or about September 5th, 1976, Uncle Teddy took me for my birthday, just he and I, when he was 17 years old. He took me to Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips in Hudson, Michigan. And he bought me for my 10th birthday a silver dog comb that I thought was the coolest thing in the world. Combs were very important in the 1970s, given our hairstyles in that time. So he was a brother who was always very nice to me, most of the time.
So,
as brothers are.
Yeah.
As brothers can be.
As brothers can be.
Yeah.
The last conversation I had with Teddy, the last clear, coherent conversation I had, I talked to him for probably about an hour on the phone. And I don't remember exactly what all we talked about, but I do remember that he told me that before you have kids, make sure you have a couple of dogs, because if you can't handle the dogs, you can't handle the kids. And I've stuck with that advice and just had dogs ever since then. So thanks, Uncle Teddy.
Yep. Good advice. I wish you'd have given me that advice. No offense to you children. Anyway.
Glad he didn't, I guess.
Listen, it's not the first time that both of my parents have told me, hey, I appreciate your existence and all, but if I could go back.
Yeah, in so many words, in so many different phrases and ways, they've both just
Look, it's not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
I love you because, I kind of biologically have to. But, if I was you, I wouldn't do it.
I'm just saying.
Just let you know, because I love you. That's why I'm telling you this.
Yes, because the reality is that both of your existence has been, at times, inconvenient to me. I mean, I'm going to be honest about that.
Feelings mutual, so...
Fair enough.
I'm just going to put it out there. I have no regrets about either of you.
Oh, thank you.
Wow,
so if you want a regret-free relationship, here you go.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, no, I'm just kidding. I'll tell you my favorite memory of Uncle Teddy.
Yes.
Actually, really that whole summer we were at the cabin and he was there.
Yes.
When he cleaned all the fish that we caught with Uncle Guy.
Yeah.
That was impressive. I didn't think he was just going to fucking gut all those fish and then cook them into a delicious dinner, but he did. But the funnest part was when we were playing Farkle. the fervent zealotry with which he would play, when he would look at you in the eye. You know what I mean? When he was rolling those dice. And he would say, whatever his score is, 1,000 and counting.
And rolling.
Rolling.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah. It was hilarious to me. It would crack me up, and then he saw that I found it funny. It would just really up the ante with it, just get real ridiculous with it.
Yes. Farkle's a dice game, by the way, that is a lot of fun for those of you who may never have heard of it.
Super fun. Somehow I always, immediately as soon as I'm done playing it, I just forget how to play. But it's a fun game. I do know that.
Yeah, come on out here. We'll play some Farkle. We'll Farkle it up.
We should do that.
That was fun. That was
It's always a good time.
It was a fun Farkle party that we had, for sure.
What's the minimum number? Does it have to be 3 people for Farkle?
To be fun, the minimum number is 3.
Okay.
To be entertaining.
The number is 3. And
the number you shall count to is 3.
I was trying to work that into the whole Farkle thing, but I kind of blanked.
The number of players must be 3.
And 3 will be the number of players.
Yes. Yeah.
Except that it doesn't have to be 3. The more players, the better, though.
That's true. Could be a minimum of 3, but it actually could be a minimum of 2. It's just not as fun.
What do you think the maximum players would be?
A million. I mean, there's no limit.
1,000 at least, right?
Right. I mean, you'd wait a long time between turns. So I think ultimately, actually, the ideal number is 5.
But Uncle Teddy called it 1,000. That was his name for the game. He didn't call it Farkle.
He called it 10,000 because that's.
He called it 10,000.
That's right. But it is a Farkle. It's a Farkle. It's Farkle. It's a Farkle.
10,000 sounds so much cooler, though.
Well, you can call it whatever you like. Who can stop
you? Know what? I think I'm just going to call it 10,000 in honor of Uncle Teddy for the rest of my life.
All right, I think that's fair. Well, perhaps we should end it there, kids.
Yeah.
I think
Jorge Masvidal. I call him Jorge, but I don't even think he calls himself that.
No, he probably calls himself Jesus.
He calls himself Georgie, I think, or George.
Oh, I got it. Well, congratulations to him. Kids, I hope you have a good week.
Yeah. Yeah.
You too.
Yeah, you as well.
All right. Elsie, I hope you have a good week.
Oh, thanks. I was wondering where that was going to go.
I also hope that you were included when I said you as well. You were included in the package with Dad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you. Understood.
That's what the ring means, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And keep in mind, kids, I don't know if you really heard it, but Elsie is offering a regret-free relationship.
Yeah, we heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went over it. I
Right.
said, thank God someone finally fucking said it. That was my response to that.
Exactly.
That's pretty big in our lives.
Yeah.
Now they can regret me. That's cool. That's their choice.
Right. It doesn't have to be two-way, although it would be
Right.
appreciated.
All
But I'm
right.
not going to put that
Cool.
expectation on you.
All right, good.
Right. I'm not going to force this.
All right, I'm feeling a lot of love right now. So. A Shinn Show is a production of Shinfluence. It features the voices and opinions of the Shinn family, which are exclusively and entirely their own. It's brought to you on a fake basis each week by Ziff's, a fine dining establishment in Invercargill, New Zealand, and by The Throne Room, also in Invercargill, New Zealand, a tattoo parlor of note. Please join us next week, and be sure to listen whenever you'd like on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you get your podcasts, when you'll hear next week Elsie Shinn say...
It's more of a shit show than a Shin show.
So stay tuned for that. Won't you? All right, anyway. Kids, good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
All right, love you.
Okay, love ya. Good to talk to you.
And by the way, I really don't regret having either of you. You really are total value added in my life, trust
Good
me.
save, man. That's exactly what I would say if I was trying to scramble. You know? Not too desperate, not too aloof.
Right, just the right level, don't you think? Not manipulative, certainly.
Think about it like the animals, right? You love your animals. You love them, but there's times when you just want to kind of punch them or kick them, or they just make you sad because you don't show up back home when you expect them to.
Yeah, it makes you want to, like, finally, when you get your hands on them, if you ever get your hands on them again, to teach them to breathe underwater. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Repress those urges.
Exactly like that.
Yeah, you bottle them up, and you keep an eye on them. You know? You just keep an eye on them.
That's why you cage them.
Yeah.
And this is how police go into databases and find murderers. Anyway. Anyway.
Joke, guys.
Thankfully, as of now, you can't get DNA through a podcast. We'll see about that in the future. But I'm working on that. Trust me.
In your spare time. All right. Always the best stuff is the last. You got to wait for the last to get this kind of quality content.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.